Welcome to Movie Friends. We're your hosts, Seth and Michelle, and today we are talking about Young Frankenstein from 1974. Directed by Mel Brooks, written by Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder, based on a story from Mary Shelley. Cinematography by Gerald Hirschfeld. Edited by John C. Howard. Composed by John Morris. Starring Gene Wilder, Terry Garr, Marty Feldman, Peter Boyle, Cloris Leachman, and Madeline Kahn. Michelle, how are you?
Hello, Seth.
What's going on?
Oh, just recording with you.
Oh, okay. So nothing exciting?
Nothing really exciting. I mean, I leave for London on Friday.
I know. It's very exciting.
And Seth is going to a club.
Maybe. I'll have to give an update.
If you get in.
Yeah, this club has a vibe checker.
Yeah.
Like they have a bouncer, but then they also have a vibe checker. And if you don't pass the vibe check, you can't get in.
Wow.
I mean, look, I'm not, some kind of self-hating guy, but do you really think I'm passing a vibe to get into a club?
I don't know. I think it depends on the club.
Yeah. Maybe
I can't wait
to
to hear.
be
I can't wait.
Flannel night, beard guy night. I don't know. Who knows?
You're in.
You're exactly what we've been looking for.
Nailed it.
So you're going to London.
I am. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Many famous films have been shot in London.
Yeah. I guess that's right. Yeah. Duh. The whole Harry Potter's series.
Yeah. Just think, wow, a movie has been here.
And the Spice Girls.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. When are we going to do Spice World?
When are we going to do Spice World? Work it in, Seth.
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of working in a movie, we got a voicemail from Emily.
Emily! Such a treat. Such a treat.
Love Emily, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So let's listen to that real quick.
Hey, I just finished your guys' Edward Scissorhands episode. I am in my car on my way home from work, and I just felt like giving some 2 cents. So first off, you mentioned a Goofy movie. Agree with Michelle about the pizza and the waterbed for sure. Would also like to add in the Leaning Tower of Pisa as something that I wanted from that movie. And Seth, I do believe you were singing the Powerline song from the end. We can thank repeated viewings of that movie as a child with my cousins for my memory of it. And the other thing, I was an emo kid, so I loved Tim Burton. I have a lot of his movies that hold a very special place for me. For whatever reason, Edward Scissorhands just was never one of them. I just never connected with me. Always felt it was sort of like, just, I don't know what about it, just was not my thing. Third thing, I guess, Michelle knows this, but I am one of the people who is very excited for her to watch Young Frankenstein. I grew up on Mel Brooks movies, and this one I think is probably my personal favorite. So I'm very excited. Andrew and I have been randomly quoting Mel Brooks movies to each other for the last, week or so. It's been great. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Emily. You were the only person who came to my defense and said that is the song from a Goofy movie.
I know. Nobody came out to really say it. I think they couldn't truly hear it unless they're a real fan.
My rendition, yeah. The soul of it is in there. You just gotta try real hard to find it.
Yeah.
And then, as an emo kid, not liking Edward Scissorhands or not connecting with it, I guess. That was pretty interesting.
That was interesting. But also just loving Tim Burton as a whole.
Yeah. So, hey, listeners, if you want us to do a Goofy movie, let us know. We'll figure it out.
Let's just have a month where there's no theme. We'll do Spice World and we'll do a Goofy movie.
Seth Core, Michelle Core.
Right. We keep talking about that. Hopefully in 24, there's some core.
Someone else is talking about that. We got an email from Ben.
The email king. Here it is.
He's responding to our episode on Edward Scissorhands.
Mm-hmm.
He says, no blood, no poop, no pee, the new requirements. 21 Jump Street, hand clap emoji or prayer emoji, depending.
Right.
I like Cruz, but this would have not been good with him. And I think we both agreed on that.
Yeah.
He says, I want a conversation pit so much.
Oh, gosh. I know.
P.S. Keanu is always welcome. P.S.S. Sethcore and Mitchcore needs to happen. P.S.S.S. Young Frankenstein is comedic gold.
Well,
And
we'll see.
We got a lot of feedback on this one, folks.
Well, I
always ask
was
people,
thinking we would. Yeah.
You never know. You throw it out there and it's like, But people are coming to bat for this movie. Let me tell you. Someone who's not coming to bat for this movie. We got another email. How about these segues in the email section today, folks? I'm on fire. I'm like that scene in The Hangover when Zach Galifianakis' character is doing all the calculations. We got another email from Mike. Mike says, hello. I've got a bone to pick with you. I intended on watching Young Frankenstein in December at the earliest, but thanks to you guys, I watched it today. Isn't that awesome?
Seth, this is like your dream for people to watch movies to follow with along the podcast.
I know. It's so nice. It's so nice of him.
Yeah.
So he says, although maybe that was a good thing, and I'll explain later. Starting off with the original Frankenstein and whether I've been converted, undecided. As for Young Frankenstein, unfortunately, I was underwhelmed by it. I'd seen the producers and Blazing Saddles, which I both love, and so paired with the rave from others, I expected more. It's just there, not great or terrible, but a nothing burger. But hey, I do like me burgers. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ben and Emily, for reaching out. If you guys want to reach out to us, send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from people. And, Michelle and I are in this little insular bubble of texting and our notes and our movies and our plans. We're like two little gremlins running a little wheel down a hill.
It's true. It's very true.
And so when we hear from the outside world, it's like, wow, this is great, right?
Wow. We the light shines and we're like, hey.
Right? Yeah. We're like, oh, because it's like, we see the downloads and the downloads are great. And, the show is doing well. But when someone actually reaches out, that's what we want to see, Also,
it makes me sweat a little bit.
It does?
Yeah. Because,
okay.
Me and you, we record and then we've talked about this. We get off and we forget about what we said.
Yes.
And so then when people go and listen or give callbacks to previous episodes, makes me like, ooh, we were listening to this? Ooh, what did I say?
Right. Yeah, there is kind of there's two things. There's a freedom to just say whatever you want, because I think you and I are comfortable with each other. But then there's also this slight performance of a persona that you're doing on the show that's different from just you walking around every day.
For sure.
And when you turn that off, it's almost like that person just goes away.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah.
And so, anyway, apart from that, we love hearing from you.
Please don't stop.
And just a good reminder while we're at it, we're doing a review giveaway from now until December 1st. You're running out of time. I got to tell you, you're going to be sad.
Less than 2 months. Less than 2 months away.
From now until December 1st, if you leave us a rating and a review on Apple iTunes.
Nope.
Okay. Nope. Apple iPadcast. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Okay.
Wait, keep that in. If you find it on Apple iPadcasts,
wow, that all
you get an extra $100.
This is so strange. It's like I found this place in my brain that doesn't work. But you should read these.
Do you know I have that with a couple of words?
Like Worcestershire?
No.
Okay.
I'll have to I can't, and you can edit this out, but I can't say Chupacabra Fest.
Chupacabra. Yeah. I'm going to keep that in, of course.
Chupacabra. Nope.
Hey, I can't say Apple Podcasts. So, But anyway, if you leave us a rating and a review, you enter into a $50 Visa gift card giveaway. And also, when we see it, we get happy and it's great. You can also support the show, patreon.com. It's $5 a month. It gets you access to 4 additional shows each month. That means that twice a week we are coming at you. We're covering Freaks and Geeks one week. We're covering Studio Ghibli one week. The other week, we're doing a movie with a friend. The other week, me and my wife are doing a messed up movie, like a horror movie or David Lynch or something like that. You also get access to our Patreon-only Discord.
That's where the fun is.
Come on, man. Anyway.
Wow.
We've done it. We've said everything we have to say.
Yeah, I think so.
So before Michelle watches a film for the first time, she records her pre-watch thoughts. So let's go to that real quick.
Young Frankenstein has got to be one of the most anticipated movies for me to watch. Between Anthony and friends that I've discussed this movie with, or how this movie just comes up and then people are like, oh my God, you haven't seen it. Oh my God, you will love it. Oh my God, you need to watch it. So that being said, I am so excited to finally watch this. I'm excited that it's a comedy. I'm excited it's the first Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder's in it. I think maybe, I don't know if this is going to be like a parody or it's going to be exploring Frankenstein when he was a kid. Maybe we'll get like a relationship with him and the Baron. I don't know. Either way, though, I'm really looking forward to this one.
So I love that this movie, like the hype for this movie has extended beyond just it being picked for this show to like people in your real life.
Oh, yeah.
Being excited for you.
Very much so. More than any other. Like The Matrix got some hype and Planet of the Apes, but from like a different crowd. But everyone's like, oh my God, Young Frankenstein. I can't wait. It is one of my favorites. Like you said, this is a well-loved movie.
We always ask people on Twitter what they think and Instagram, and we get different responses. Generally, the responses are positive, but with this one, and you will see later in the show, people love this movie. When I went to round up the reviews for the 0.5-star, 3-star, 5-star, this movie has only 16 half-star reviews on Letterboxd.
Wow.
That's close to the lowest amount for any movie we've ever done, if not the lowest.
Wow.
Yeah, normally I'm wading through pages and pages of people being like, this movie sucks. This is horrible. I want my life back. No one should ever watch Mel Brooks. Frankenstein isn't funny. And I'm like trying to find something readable. My options were limited on this one. This is a really, really well-loved movie. So, Michelle.
So, Seth.
Having said all of that, what did you think about Young Frankenstein?
I laughed a lot.
Okay.
To me, this felt like a sequel, like a perfect sequel. Because even though it's made in 1974 and I just saw the 1931, this was so seamless to me.
Yep.
And I thought aesthetically looked amazing. And I did a little research, but the fact that they were able to use like the same sets and props and stuff is so cool.
Very cool.
And I still haven't seen Bride of Frankenstein. I didn't watch that, or Son of Frankenstein. And now I'm like, I don't think I really need to. I think these two pair very well together as a set.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I agree with you. When I watched Young Frankenstein for the first time, this is not a movie that I grew up with. Obviously, this is not a movie that you grew up with.
Right.
The only Mel Brooks film I remember watching as a kid, which is so strange, is this movie called Life Stinks. And it's about a really rich guy who I think he makes a bet to like become homeless. It's a little bit like Trading Places,
Mhm.
or he somehow ends up homeless. It's played by Mel Brooks, and honestly, I don't even know if he directed that one, but Mel Brooks was someone that I came to like in my teen years and
Mm.
love Mel Brooks, love his movies, you know. But for some reason, Young Frankenstein, I just was never interested. You know, I love Gene Wilder. There was just something about it. I never really sought it out. And so I watched it last year, and I did not make that connection that you made because I think my Frankenstein and Young Frankenstein viewings were kind of further apart. But rewatching it now for this episode, it really feels like a direct sequel to
Right?
Bride of Frankenstein, at least. Yeah. And I also have not seen Son of Frankenstein, but what I understand is that a lot of the jokes in this come from all three movies. So some of the jokes that maybe like didn't land or maybe didn't, you know, maybe seemed out of place or maybe we didn't even realize they were jokes, they could be jokes
Mm.
referencing Son of Frankenstein.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It
That's
is
very
cool. It
smart.
is cool.
And
Yeah.
another hot take is with Gene Wilder, upon what I was seeing, and I could be wrong, but I have only seen him in Willy Wonka and
Okay.
this. And to me, he's playing almost the same character. So this is the only Gene Wilder range that I know. And I love him. I mean, he's perfect. But I've never seen him in anything else. Like I haven't seen The Producers. I haven't seen Blazing Saddles. And the way he can be manic, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's Gene Wilder doing
Yes.
Gene Wilder.
Yes. Someone said, I don't know, I can't remember which random review it was, but they were like, you know, Gene Wilder acting frantic and like frazzled will always be great. And
Yeah.
we will, I'm saying this right now, I don't care how it happens. We will be doing The Producers at some point. It's one of my favorite comedies ever of all time. When I saw that as a kid, I literally fell off the couch laughing. I'd never had that happen to me before. I just was like, my body was spasming, and now that I'm older, I don't have quite the same response, but I think it's really great. And yeah, Gene Wilder rules, man. Like he's in a lot of just really funny. He always plays kind of, yeah, like a little exasperated, a little neurotic.
Mm-hmm.
But I love him, and I think, you know, generations of folks have a special place in their heart for Gene Wilder because of Willy Wonka.
Right.
Because, like, what a character! I mean, my goodness, what a movie!
What
Rewatching
a
it with my
movie.
kids, I was like, this is maybe a top 5 kids movie ever, ever. Just cream of the crop. Like, get the Lion King out of here. Like,
Whoa, whoa,
literally, kick
whoa.
it to
I
the
know you hate
curb.
The Lion King and Disney and all of that, but also Willy Wonka scared me as a kid.
Yes.
I mean,
As all
so
good kids movies should.
that's true. That's true. Add a little fear in there. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Willy Wonka is trippy AF. It is
Mm-hmm.
trippy.
It's
I
weird. It's
haven't,
real weird.
it's really weird. And I haven't revisited in a while. I would like to do that on this show, actually.
Yeah. Maybe we just need to get out of the way and just do Gene Wilder month.
That'd be great. Just like
Maybe
with
for
Bigfoot
June,
month.
we'll call it June Wilder.
Love it. And then
Yeah.
we'll just go into Bigfoot month.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe he did a Bigfoot movie. I don't know.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
You know, some of the cast and crew decided to keep the whole Gene Wilder energy going after this movie, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, after this movie, Gene Wilder wrote and directed a movie called The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes's Smarter Brother.
Oh, my God.
You know, I don't know if he was like, Young Frankenstein. That was taking a classic work and kind of updating it with me in it. Let's try it again with Sherlock Holmes. So Gene Wilder, Madeline Kahn was in it, Marty Feldman was in it. Even John Morris, the composer from this movie, he did the music for it. Mel Brooks has like a small bit part in it. So that seeing that made me feel happier about Young Frankenstein because I was like, oh, they must have all like just loved working with each other. That
Yeah.
they were like, okay, let's, you know, Gene Wilder was like, hey, I'm gonna do this one, and everyone was like, yeah, let's do it too.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
So Marty Feldman, who we are going to get into immediately, I just want to say, knowing that him and Gene did this movie together and then went on to do another movie right after, I'm very, very curious to see that one. Like that got bumped up pretty high on my watch list because I just want to see what they do outside of this, outside of this kind of realm. Yeah.
I wonder what role Marty is playing in that movie.
I don't know.
You got to find out.
Yeah. He's like third build though. It's like Gene Wilder, Madeline Kahn, Marty Feldman. So I'm pretty sure it's
Wow.
big role.
Okay. Marty Feldman for me, like, okay, we love Gene Wilder, yes.
Yeah.
And everybody is good in this movie, yes. But for me, Marty Feldman as Igor is my favorite. And
Yeah.
Igor as a character has like become one of my favorite characters in movies ever.
Wow.
So when you were describing you falling off the couch to the producers was pretty much me first meeting Marty playing Igor. Like I just like guttural belly laughs, and every time he was on the screen, every time he looked at the camera, his expressions killed me.
Yeah.
The best part when he rubs his head,
His face. Yes.
dead.
Yes.
It is so, it's just magical, and I would love to be him for Halloween one year.
Oh, okay. So we always say this with comedies. It's like you start writing jokes down, and then it's like, okay, how many jokes can I possibly write down? You know what I mean? Like, and there's so many in this movie. And I wrote in my notes when I was like, Marty Feldman rubs his face on Gene Wilder, kind of like in apology, like not. I don't. It's so
Like a pet.
odd.
Like a pet.
Yes,
It's like
it's so strange. And so I'm really glad that you brought that up as something you enjoyed, because I was like, I don't know how to mention this.
I mean, I laughed so hard. So
Mm-hmm.
hard. And to me, he was my favorite part of this movie because he's our guide. He's taking us along, and he's really the only. I mean, the whole movie's exaggerated. We know what we're in for, but everyone is not acting like it's exaggerated. And he's kind of all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, God. Yes.
You know, the direction for Terry Garr was play it as straight as you can, play it as serious as you can. I think that she's great as Inga.
She's wonderful. And to me, I'm like, oh my God, it's Phoebe's mom from Friends.
Stop. I can't believe you said that.
Why?
Because I don't watch Friends, but as I'm watching Terry Garr as Inga, I said, oh, that's Phoebe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, does she actually play Phoebe's mom?
Mm-hmm.
The same actress?
Yes. Wait, Terry. Yes, Terry. I looked this up, but then you know how you always like second guess yourself? Yes, she's the estranged birth mother of Phoebe.
Dude, that is wild. And that to me, so this comes out in 1974. There's no way that either the direction or, the actress herself, whose name is completely skipping my mind, unfortunately, didn't say like, oh, I'm going to base Phoebe on Inga from Young Frankenstein. Wow. I had that down as a note, and I was like, oh, I'm going to bring this up, and Michelle's going to go, whoa, yeah. But wow, same wavelength. I think you and I are on the same wavelength with this movie.
I think we are. I can't believe you had that thought. Wow.
It's
That's wild, Seth.
So clear though. It's so, and like I said, I do not watch Friends. I've seen bits and pieces, and I've seen whatever, okay. I know what Friends are. I know who Ross and
I know what Friends are.
I almost said Jacob, and then I was like, nope, there's not one called Jacob. Ross, Chandler, Joey is the guys.
Can you do the
Ross, Chandler, Joey is the guys.
The girls. Mm-hmm.
The Rachel, Phoebe, and Ross's sister is.
Okay, good. You know they're related.
Yes, they're related. Ross's sister is married to Chandler. Monica.
Yes. Okay, good
Yes.
job. Mm-hmm.
All right, I got there. Anyway, it was so clear to me. Like, just. Anyway. Wow, wild. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was cool to see her in this role. And I thought she
Yeah.
was great. She was delightful and so charming. When when they first meet and she's in the hay and she just roll and it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Would you like to roll in the hay? Roll, roll,
Roll,
roll
roll.
in the hay.
It's so silly. It's so silly.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
that's one of the like sex jokes in the movie that I'm totally on board with because I think it's really funny and strange.
Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree to that.
So Terry Garr, she's playing it straight. Gene Wilder playing it straight in many of these scenes.
Yeah.
And Marty Feldman, there are moments where he is just yes mastering, and like playing the part of the scene where he's not trying to like take it apart and make fun of it. And what's really interesting about this movie, and I think I didn't get this. I didn't get it on my first watch. I just have to say something, and it doesn't make sense, but it's just what I feel, and it's the thing that made me get this movie. This is not a spoof.
No.
This is not a parody or like a lampoon. I really think this is a funny, for sure, making fun of, but this is a well-made direct sequel to Frankenstein that is funny in an absurd way. But this isn't like every scene isn't making fun of Frankenstein. It's not making fun of
No.
old movies. It's actually going through the steps of telling us like a movie storyline, and that really escaped me. And so there's whole scenes where you're like, this isn't funny. Like
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
funny is happening. Why? What are we doing? Where that wasn't like their, Mel Brooks. So he makes the producers Blazing Saddles. The producers is making fun of show business and Broadway, but it looks really great. And like the Broadway sequences look like real Broadway sequences. Blazing Saddles is making fun of Westerns, but it's an actual Western. Like the whole, like it is a Western. And this is a Universal monster movie, and it's having fun and it's being silly, but like the whole scene where they're resurrecting the monster, it's
Mm-hmm.
not funny like almost at all. You get the bit where he yells up to Igor. Igor. I don't know what his name is actually supposed to be, because when he says Igor, he's making fun of him for saying Frankenstein.
Yeah, and he's like, "Isn't it Froderick?" He's like, so he calls him Igor because he's
Right.
right.
So he yells up to him and he's like, "Hey, you better come down. You could get electrocuted." And he's like, "I said," and then he's like right next to him. So like there's that, but there's whole sequences where Wilder is acting seriously.
Oh yeah, and you take him
Funny
seriously.
bits in between.
Sure.
Yeah, I do totally. And I think that's where, for me, like as we get closer to the ending, we lose some of that steam, and we're
I
kind of
agree,
just
Seth.
getting into the dumb jokes, and it's like not
It's
my
just
favorite.
I agree. We are the same with this.
Yeah.
I agree. Like the first half for me is so good, and I'm like down and I'm laughing, and then as soon as we get into more of like the peen and the vagine jokes, I'm like,
Yeah.
I never love a dick joke.
Yeah.
But it is funny to think about. You build this giant monster. What's going on down there?
And that's the other funny, to me, the funny joke is when Inga is like, he must have a huge, and Gene Wilder just kind of thinks, he's like, well, that goes without saying.
Right. Like that was good. That was
Yeah.
very funny.
So, Mel Brooks, great talent. And like, I think when we think of like Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I have seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dracula Dead and Loving It, which is one that I watched recently. Those are closer to like the level of parody of like Airplane. Have you
Yeah,
seen Airplane?
I
forget.
did.
Yeah.
I love Airplane.
Where you know, it's funny, but the jokes are driving the ship. The story isn't, nothing really matters. Anything can happen. In this one, we do get Putting on the Ritz, and that is ridiculous, but it's still within the framework of like, okay, in the beginning of the movie, we start out with Frankenstein giving a lecture and demonstrating,
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
I could totally relate. I'm like, it's Rubenstein.
Right. Well, he does come around though, and this I think that's one of the more serious parts. Is when he's like, "My name is Frankenstein." Yeah. But so this is just him giving another lecture to a group of scientists, and he's demonstrating, and so that is silly. That does leave the realm of reality, obviously, but major props to Mel Brooks for putting forth like a quality movie first. Everyone will tell you how great this movie looks, and it does. It looks great. Like you mentioned, we get the same props from Frank Whale's film, which definitely helps. There's no like zany like little lightning ball or like crappy 60s sci-fi set. Like it looks just as good as Frankenstein, which is crazy to say.
Yeah. Right.
I think the costume design in this is great. Like Igor's thing is so simple, but it makes him very like malleable and like iconic and easily recognizable. I love the moving hump.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not needed, but so wonderful because it's just quick seconds.
Yes. Yeah. And then Gene Wilder, for writing this, I listened to a few podcasts about this. I watched some different things, read a little bit about it. And the best that I can say is like, this is like a muddied production history because different people claimed different things, like how the movie got started or like who wrote what or, so I can't say definitively in the end whose touch is on different scenes or whatever, because literally like Gene Wilder will be like, I fought to get the Putting on the Ritz thing in the movie.
Right.
Where Mel Brooks tells a story where he says, as a child, I used to sing Putting on the Ritz using a Boris Karloff voice. And so that came from my childhood.
Wow. I mean, maybe it was both.
Maybe it was both. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, great movie. We didn't mention her yet. Cloris Leachman, Frau Blucher.
Yay! So stupid. It's so stupid.
That's such a stupid joke, but that's the type of stupid joke that I like,
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's consistent, so it's funny.
Love Cloris Leachman. I think a lot of people just know her as like that old lady from That Thing. If you were born in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
But she's great. She's a great actress. She has a amazing performance in The Last Picture Show. She's also really good in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And then in this, and she's over the top. She has my favorite line in this movie, which it's not like a joke. When they discover, she's letting out the monster and they discover like, oh, you were the one who was playing the music. And she's got the violin and she's going up. she's backing up the stairs and she's like, yes. And then she'll like turn her back and they'll ask her another question and she'll spin around and like strum the violin. Yes. And then she's talking about, the oldest Frankenstein. And she's like, yes, say it. He was my boyfriend. It's the funniest line in this movie to me. because you expect her to maybe to say like lover or just something
different. Yeah.
just something different. Just not just he was my boyfriend. Oh God. I love that so much.
For me, I love when she's getting them settled and walking him to their rooms, and she's like, follow. And the candles are not lit. And so they're just behind this candelabra. There's no light. And then, of course, asking, do you want warm milk? How about Ovaltine?
Yeah. Some milk? Perhaps.
Like, her physicality was really funny in this movie.
I think
good.
It's hard. It's hard because you want to be like, oh, Gene Wilder's the best, or Igor's the best, but she is doing a lot in the scenes that she's in. She's great. Peter Boyle as the monster.
Wow.
Very funny. I knew Peter Boyle primarily growing up as the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Same, of course.
And I've seen a lot of stuff with him in it now, and he's really, really great, which puts him being the dad on Everybody Loves Raymond in like a totally different.
I know, right? What a weird perspective.
Light, yeah. Like he's in Taxi Driver. Obviously, he's in Young Frankenstein. He's in the Paul Schrader film Hardcore. I also really like him While You Were Sleeping. You've seen While You Were Sleeping, right?
Have I seen that?
While You Were Sleeping is Sandra Bullock, Bill Pullman, Peter Gallagher.
Oh my God, Peter Gallagher! No.
Yeah. Oh, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out sometime. Check it out on your flight.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll just wait for you to work it in on this show.
Oh, I don't know if I would ever do it on this. It's not like that great, but it's a fun. It's a romantic comedy about a dude who goes into a coma, and Sandra Bullock is the one. I think she brings him to the hospital, and so his whole family like assumes. I think she has to say that it's her fiance. I don't know. Something happens where they all think that they're getting married, and the whole family falls in love with her. She doesn't even like know this guy. She's like a toll booth operator kind of a thing. It's funny.
That's funny.
It's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And Peter Boyle's in there?
Peter Boyle's in it, and he's Peter Boyling it up.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to mention, obviously, Madeline Kahn as Elizabeth. She, I think, is in the same vein as Marty Feldman in terms of like what world they're living in.
Yeah.
I do love their initial goodbye where she's like, "Oh, don't touch my hair. Oh, don't touch
Not
my
the
nails."
lips. Not on the lips.
Not on the lips. And then later on when they're going to kiss and she's like, "What? How does she say it? No tongues?
No tongues."
Yeah. No tongues. She says it real odd.
I love it. I can relate. I love it all. I love it so much.
And then the scene when she comes out of the carriage, her and Gene Wilder go through several things, and then Gene Wilder leaves, and then Igor comes over, and they go through the same lines a second time.
Yeah.
And it's not, there's no joke. Like,
no.
There's no, it's just like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if? And
right.
Yeah. But her final scene when she's got the, Bride of Frankenstein hair, and she comes out of the bathroom. I don't know what that is. What is that? What is she doing?
What do you mean? She's getting ready for sexy time.
Okay. I guess so. Yeah.
She's very excited for.
She's doing this she's humming a jazz drum line.
She is excited.
She's kicking her shoes off and.
Yeah. I did love that.
It's.
And then she's she has the best line where she's like, "I have a hamper for your poo-poo undies."
Yeah.
Noted. Do you have a hamper for just your poo-poo undies?
No, absolutely not.
Can you imagine saying that you're about to have sex and you're getting all saucied up and you're going just a checklist of things? Here's your hamper for your poo-poo undies.
No, and like I kind of get it because it's supposed to be like the monster has kind of like been tamed and now he's on this like domestic kind of like boring life, I think is
Yeah,
kind
he's
of the
reading. He's
idea.
like sophisticated now.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't want to pull the curtain back too much, but I'm a big fan of multi hampers.
How many do you have? Not counting your kids.
Yeah, so I don't know. But like I have a hamper downstairs because I work in a restaurant, and so I have a hamper that's just for like I come home and you put
Right.
the clothes away.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So you're not like dragging, grease and pizza all over.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, as she was saying that, I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I don't agree with the poo-poo underwear. That's the hamper for that is the garbage. And then you go to the hospital and you say, I just pooped my pants. So clearly I'm dying because something is very wrong.
She's just so nonchalant about it. Like it's happened before. And she's like, let me get this for you.
Some people are nonchalant about it. You and I will not say who, you and I have a mutual friend who believes it's okay to poop your pants 2 to
Yeah.
3 times a year.
Well, that one definitely has some tummy issues and not should be eating the things they're eating.
Well, hey, look, hear me out, okay? If you're listening to this and you have tummy issues, I get it. I understand that. I have different
But
family
listen,
members who have
sometimes
that
you
problem.
poop your pants because you're not feeling well either. So,
And that's that right, but that's not what I'm saying. But just like on the norm, you're doo-dooing in the no.
it's a lot of
You
prairie dogging all the time.
you I don't want to.
You've never prairie dogged? Come on,
I don't
Seth.
understand what that is. I don't understand what that is.
This is the poop. This is the butt.
Yeah. It goes in and out?
No, it's like a prairie dog coming out of the hole. I can't believe I'm explaining this. And so like
Okay, but like
it's like your
does it
poop
go
is
back?
Crowning. Kind of like it's
Does it
coming through. But I gotta hold it back because I'm not near a toilet. What movie is that from? That's like an iconic
Rat
line.
Race.
Right. Rat
A
Race.
prairie dog in it here.
Yes.
I love Rat Race.
Yeah,
I know
that's a
people
good
think
one.
of it as like a not good movie. I think it's pretty funny.
I use the term prairie dog and
all I know is you guys gotta use the bathroom more. Just go to the bathroom more.
oh yeah, I don't have that problem.
Yeah. You don't have a special hamper for your doo-doo underwear?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's what I always say is like, look, I'll just be in diapers. I don't care.
No.
Like, what is the shame in that?
No, there's
We're
no
all heading
shame. I know. Gosh.
Yeah. Speaking of doo-doo,
Yeah.
she asks that. Elizabeth asks Inga, she's like, how does she say? She's like, what do you? Or
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And Inga gets this gross look on her face like, doo-doo? The last person that I kind of want to mention is Kenneth Mars. He plays Inspector Kemp. To me, I think a lot of the Inspector Kemp stuff for me just doesn't work a ton.
Probably my least favorite.
There is a deleted scene that explains the original Frankenstein's monster is how he lost his hand.
Oh.
And so, right, a lot of things make more sense.
See, this is why it's like a direct sequel too, if that's the case.
Yep. And like he keeps telling everybody like, we don't want to have a riot, because he's like been through all of this before.
Yeah.
And that's why at the end, when the monster gets up and now he's speaking eloquently, which is a great scene. Peter Boyle, it's great. That's another one where you're kind of like, this isn't really funny. Like, what's happening here?
No, there's heart to it.
And he says, let me extend my hand and we'll shake the handshake of friendship or whatever. And then he accidentally pulls his hand off. That is supposed to be like a big payoff joke from like the beginning of the movie, but because that scene is missing, we don't get that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you feel? Go ahead. Keep going on your thought.
So I just wanted to mention him. One, he's in the producers, great, but he plays the father of a very, very famous Disney movie, animated Disney film. Do you think you can guess what it is?
No. The father?
Yep, he plays the father in one of the Disney Renaissance animated movies from our
King
childhood.
Triton?
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy that I got that quick? That's what's crazy.
Well, there's only so many dads.
I know how my they all have dead parents, so
You know it's not Mufasa.
right.
You're pretty much stuck with like Belle's dad.
And Jasmine's dad, the Sultan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, he plays King Triton. So
wow. That's
try
cool.
to put those voices together, because I learned that before my second rewatch, and then the whole time I was like, I'm not hearing Triton at all.
Wow. I don't think I know what Triton sounds like anymore.
Ariel.
Right.
Yeah. My daughter. Oh, Ariel, what will we do with you?
It's good, Seth.
Thanks. I mean, I just want to throw it out there. Triton did nothing wrong. His daughter was 16 years old. She was a child.
And he had a lot of daughters.
He did have a lot of daughters.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
After the monster escapes, we get a few different scenes with him kind of roaming around. We get a crazy, I don't even know that it's a cameo, but we get Gene Hackman playing the blind man. And this is from Bride of Frankenstein. Like, this scene's directly from that.
Which is cool
monster.
because you have the little girl scene, which is from Frankenstein, which I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but when the girl flies through the window, I also like belly laugh, fell off the couch laughing.
I rewatched it probably 10 times because I was trying to figure out how they did it.
Oh,
I can, if you know how they did it, please send us an email. moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. No idea how they did it. It looks like they threw this girl into that bed, and maybe they did that, but it looks incredible. Like, it looks really, really great.
I laughed so hard, and then she's just under the blankets, seamless.
Mm-hmm. I loved how they were kind of like, oh, we could have him kill her. And Peter Boyle like looks at the camera when she's like, what else could we throw down there?
Right. Yeah.
But they don't go that route. Like,
because it's a comedy. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But back to
Gene Hackman.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So in Bride of Frankenstein, he also encounters a blind person who teaches him about like being a friend, and that's and all of that stuff. And so in this one, it's pretty funny because he's like praying for a friend to come, and then he shows up and he proceeds to like boil him and set him on fire.
Oh my gosh. That was really funny. I really enjoyed these bits of the monster going out on his own. And then when he obviously storms out, he's like, but I was going to make espresso.
Yes.
My man.
So this might seem like totally left field, but I really wanted to quickly mention opening credits.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like film history.
Uh-huh.
Because credits used to be at the beginning of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love the beginning of this. We get a very, very slow zoom in on the castle. And we're doing like the old style credits over the beginning. I love the dots that connect like the actor to who they're playing. And this was not in fashion in 1974. Like, credits before a movie had already kind of begun to phase out. What I read was with the advent of like the TV movie, because those are always at the end. You get like the show is starting and you'll have like little credits running along the bottom.
Right.
But because credits always ran at the end, that kind of helped, do that.
Interesting.
Make that move. And then I just wanted to read this segment. This is a whole section I just copied from Wikipedia because it just kind of left my jaw on the floor. First, a little fact that I found was the first sound movie without opening credits at all was Fantasia.
Wow.
Because we just start with, the orchestra
Yeah.
warming up. And so this is a segment from Wikipedia. George Lucas is credited with popularizing this with his Star Wars films, which display only the film's title at the start. His decision to omit opening credits in his films Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back led him to resign from the Directors Guild of America after being fined $250,000 for not crediting the director during the opening title sequence. However, Hollywood had been releasing films without opening credits for many years before Lucas came along, most notably Citizen Kane, West Side Story, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and The Godfather.
Whoa.
There was a film released last year called Tar, director Todd Phillips, and they do the entire credits at the beginning. And there's music playing. The way that the credits are laid out, it was very, I don't know, there was just something like almost like strange and ominous about it. And it really kind of forced you to like really sit there and like take in everything. And so I just wanted to say, like, I'm a fan of credits before the movie. Like, there's something about when a movie ends and just the words like the end like rush towards the screen and then it goes blank
And then
and you're
you're
just
done.
kind of like, wow, like, yeah, like you're sitting there like, oh, it's over. Where when the credits start, yeah, I don't know, there's just something different about it.
Huh. That's a thinker, Seth.
We kind of blew past it, but the opening scene where he's talking about reflexive versus non-reflexive reactions, and he says to the old man, hop off the table. just kind of like slow crawl shimmy falls off the table, and he's like, nice hopping.
Yeah.
But then I didn't put two and two together until doing the put on the Ritz thing and then rewatching it. We go through all this long talk about, reflexive reaction, and he stabs himself in the leg and then doesn't react.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know what that's trying to like say or tell us about like this character, because he wants to put off that he's like, oh no, I'm a man of science and that's all crazy. But he's crazy from the beginning. Like, he's like screaming at the top of his lungs.
Oh, yeah. He gets agitated real quick.
Yeah. Like, he's like, my grandfather's work was doo-doo. But yeah, I really loved that part.
So in the other movies, well, I guess not, but I had one question when I finished this, and I asked Aunt this, and Aunt was like, I don't know. Where is the father?
Oh, the son of Frankenstein?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because, like, there's no, what happens to the son of Frankenstein? Because we get the grandpa, so we switched, we like skipped a generation because then
Right.
he's getting the estate.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea. I guess in another deleted scene, it was like in the will that they were supposed to open his casket 100 years after he died, and that's why
Okay.
like the corpse is all like melted.
And like holding on to that
Right.
box.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe his dad is just dead by now. I don't know.
Yeah.
The other scene that I really want to mention is the Abby Normal. The Abby
Oh my
Normal joke
gosh.
really gets me. The whole him breaking into the brain depository lab.
Which I love that it says after 5 p.m. just slip the brains through.
Yeah, when he comes to the door and he had his own hand through it and he's scared by his own hand.
Yeah.
And then later he's scared by his own reflection.
Yeah.
Because when we did Frankenstein, we said like that scene is the most ridiculous scene in the original Frankenstein. When he drops the brain, it's just like, what slapstick comedy is this suddenly? But yeah, I love the Abby Normal joke. And when we did Edward Scissorhands last week, we were saying like, why did he give him Scissorhands? Right? Like, what it?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought, I was like, oh, that is the abnormal brain part of Edward. Like, everything else is normal, because in Frankenstein's monster, as much as we want him to like be good, he's literally created with one part of him that's wrong. It's not that he himself would like inherently be like a monster. He is given an abnormal brain. And so in Edward Scissorhands, I think the abnormal brain part is the Scissorhands.
Wow. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, do you think
It
that
does.
retains any kind of water? Because
I like what
I
you're
was,
butting down.
yeah, I was kind of like, yeah. I mean, we said it in the episode. We were like, I don't know why he did it, but he was a nice old man, so we'll give Vincent Price a pass.
Pass.
I also love, and now I'm just naming things that I love, but I also love the "you haven't touched your food" joke. There, now I've touched it. Happy?
Right. Uh-huh.
I also love the "walk this way" joke, which I don't know if you saw in looking anything up.
I
That
did.
Aerosmith did use this.
It's so weird. I can't comprehend that. I wanted to talk to you about that if that was true, if you read that. Like,
Yeah, so apparently they were in the
what?
studio. They had the guitar riff, and some of them went to see Young Frankenstein, and they came back and they were just making jokes from the movie. And "Walk
Walk
This
this
Way" was one
way.
of them.
Walk this way. This
Yeah,
way.
who would have thought? This is why sometimes in a very media saturated like culture,
Mm-hmm.
media literacy is important because there's things that you don't even realize are like compounding on other, like the whole Phoebe thing from Friends. I had no clue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no
Yeah.
clue that was even a real thing. So
Yeah.
everybody is stealing from everybody, and the best thieves are Mel Brooks is doing great.
Good save.
So we've been talking about things that we like about this. Something that I really don't like, and I don't want to be a millennial guy watching movies from the past and hating on them, but this one is like, it's so jarring and strange. The scene where the monster and Elizabeth are in the cave and like he, like forces himself on her. It plays real weird.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm,
it made me
I'm
uncomfortable. And
yeah.
I'm like, am I prudy? And also, I think just this wouldn't be made today like that. And of course, she starts to enjoy it. So we're like, oh, and she sings, and we're like, ha 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 ha. But the initial where he just like exposes himself, and
Yeah,
I don't know, he's
right.
taking
And it's kind of,
advantage.
yeah, it's kind of like, I think you can end in the same place where the monster and Elizabeth are together and Frankenstein and Inga are together.
Yeah.
You can end there without this. So I'm not even going to go out and say that this is like necessary to the plot. It's just a bad joke.
Right. We're just really leaning in on, we're just going to end
Yeah. Yeah.
on a dick joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Not,
Mm.
and we said when we did Frankenstein that that's maybe the worst ending of any movie that we've done.
Oh my God, you're right.
Because it just kind of like ends and you're like, oh, okay. And that one also ends with Frankenstein in bed. So, I don't know, man. I'm not, like I said, there's a few jokes in this that I'm just not totally on board with. And yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly before we get into like facts and Twitter and stuff, what did you think about the putting on the Ritz scene?
So I've seen that. I have
Yeah,
seen that
it's famous, real famous.
whole montage. I've heard the song. Aunt has that song and has played it, like the remix version from the movie. And so I was like, how do I know this? So, it's entertaining and it's funny. And I was like, wow, this is where this is from. I guess when I first saw it, I didn't put two and two together of like, oh, this is from a movie or what have you. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's very entertaining. So
I think, again, like you think about like bad parody movies, what this one has going for it is they're going to do, a duo song and dance number, and it's well made. Like
yeah.
they're not dancing up a storm, especially Peter Boyle, but they're in time. There's a
Yeah.
routine. They're actually doing it. It's not just like,
And like Peter Boyle's, the shoes are so high. If you
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
his footwear, I'm like, I
Yeah.
would have fallen over. Very impressive. Very impressive.
So yeah, it's just I like it is like I said, I think it's the most crazy and insane thing, but people love that scene.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I could have done without it. It's just like I think if you remove it, I don't know. I'm not even probably gonna edit this part out, but I like it. It's fine.
I mean, this movie really has everything, right? You have
It's
comedy,
true.
you have drama, you have a musical scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's good length and time.
Mm-hmm.
Got a dick joke. Wow.
There were a couple of really great lifting by the neck scenes
Mm-hmm.
where like they have the effect and it's like really looks like they're lifting him up by the neck. That was
Mm-hmm.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that.
And we are SP Film Viewers.
Each week, we take a deep dive into films that Sophie is seeing for the first time, some of which are deemed classics, some of which are my favourites, and some are just to try and get a reaction from her.
We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we have a lot of fun talking about what we've watched.
And we hope you have fun listening to our light-hearted thoughts and ramblings on this cinematic journey.
So tune in every Thursday on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts from.
So this movie's made for $2.8 million, makes $40 million in its initial run. So
Wow.
fantastic. You know, not a real big surprise that Gene Wilder ran out and made Sherlock Holmes movie like the next year. It's got 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, 4 average on Letterboxd, 83 on Metacritic. This was inducted into the National Registry in 2003.
Wow.
Roger Ebert gave this 4 stars.
Okay.
Loved the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we reached out to some friends on Twitter to ask them what they thought. And like I said, we got such a great response. We got so many responses. We cannot include them all. Like, I feel like the amount that I'm including is even pushing it. But you know what? We're just going to go for it. Damian Christopher at movie_mandrake.
Oh, mandrake.
What is a mandrake?
It's those screaming plants from Harry Potter where you pull them by the roots and like,
But they got to be something else, right?
oh, probably. If it is, edit that out.
Well, I know mandrake from Dr. Strangelove,
Oh,
which predates Harry Potter. So there's got to be something in our world called a mandrake.
maybe he feels he's a man. No, just.
Oh.
Oh.
What about a duck? Isn't a duck a drake or
No.
something?
Is
Maybe
that
it's
true?
a man duck? I don't know.
A
dude.
man duck.
Damian Christopher says, my love for this movie has never wavered since I first watched it as a kid. Easily Mel's best and my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Josh at Scene Perfection says, and that's scene as in SCENE.
I figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah. Probably Mel's best. Utilizes expressionist influences really well, which makes it as good an homage as it is a spoof.
Mm-hmm.
It also maintains a high energy level the whole way through, and the comedic timing on display is sublime. Great comedy with a lot of stylistic flair. Seth Hart at The Golden Heart.
Seth.
Another Seth. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
There's not many Seths in this world.
I know. It's true.
So I'm always glad to meet another Seth.
That's good.
He says it should have won an Oscar for Gene Wilder for writing the script.
Mm.
And maybe a Best Picture for Mel, too. Wow.
Whoa.
The Bitter Wolf at... You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Bitter Wolf.
Do you think the bitter wolf is like doesn't want to howl because he's mad? Oh.
Maybe. Maybe it's just a wolf that tastes better when you lick him. Or her.
That's real weird.
I agree.
Okay.
Considering I can quote the entire movie by heart, I guess it's near the top. I had asked, by the way, everyone keeps saying the top. I had asked, is this one of Mel's best or worst? Got it. Josie at The Spooky Blonde.
Cute. Very cute.
And now, you know how it's like October, so everyone changes their names to like spooky stuff.
Yeah.
That's not, Josie is always the spooky blonde.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says, I've always wished I could see all the cuts and all the outtakes from this film. I'd watch 5 hours of it all. I don't care. I love this movie.
Oh, I love that. Did you watch any of the bloopers? Because I did.
I did watch some movies.
They were really funny. To watch like
they're
Gene
really
break,
funny.
very funny.
Yeah. Felicia at Cinemaroni
Yeah.
says, when are we, as a society, going to finally admit that Gene Wilder was a baddie? Love this movie. Love putting on the Ritz. Glad you two finally did a Mel Brooks film.
Same.
What's a baddie?
Like,
Is that like a handsome person?
yeah. We were just talking about slang. Usually I feel like I have a hard time explaining it. I usually
Sure.
just use it.
You just have to feel it.
Yeah. Like their game is just like, you're a baddie.
Got it. Is it like a zaddy?
No.
Zaddy is gone, right? No one says zaddy anymore.
I hate the whole zaddy daddy thing.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I don't like saying that.
Don't say it.
I think people do use zaddy.
Okay. Marina like a boatyard.
This is one of my favorites.
I know. It's one of my favorites.
It is
too.
so good. Like this would be in a movie like this.
Yeah. We haven't heard from her in a bit.
Yeah.
But always glad to hear from Marina.
Yeah.
At Marina Carlson. Not only is it the top of my list for spooky movies and comedies, but top of my list for all movies ever. It's so beautifully shot, smart, and funny in a way that never ages. Dangerously rewatchable.
Whoa.
I love that idea of like, my life has fallen apart because I keep rewatching Young Frankenstein.
I hope that's the review left for that.
Pretty great.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Okay. So those are some folks that we do know. Now we go to a segment of the show where we hear from folks that we don't know. It's called Half Star, 3 Star, 5 Star. Half Star, 3 Star, 5 Star. All right, so these are reviews from letterboxd.com. We start out with a half-star review, which is the lowest rating that you can give a movie. We go all the way up to a 5-star review, which is the highest rating that you can give a movie. And I don't know. You got any requests for this one?
I don't. And I wish I did. I was going to say, can you read it, obviously in an accent, but whose accent?
Right. Maybe I'll try to do Inga?
Yeah, okay.
Z. Yeah, okay. So, like I mentioned earlier, there are only 16 half-star reviews for this movie.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Absolutely insane. It's like 150,000 reviews or ratings or something that this movie has. And
wow.
Yeah. Okay. Not funny. Oops. Maybe I shouldn't do high-pitched.
Is oops? Oh, I thought oops was part of the review.
No.
Funny. Oops.
I just heard, yeah, you do it good. You do it good.
But it's not consistent.
Not funny. Not funny. Oops.
Not funny.
Okay, I know Gene Wilder, who looks like Errol Flynn in this movie, has talent, but Brooks just isn't. Gar was a cutie. A faithful copy of the old horror movies. Who cares? This movie is probably opposite to Team America, World Police, in every single way. So,
wow.
There's a little grammatical error in there, which maybe made part of that make no sense. But the last line is why I pulled this. This movie is probably opposite to Team America, World Police in every single way. I don't know what to make of that. If anyone out there wants to.
So weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, half star. Not funny.
Not funny.
Not funny.
At all.
That's like the old Krumholtz.
Oh, yeah, Krumholtz.
You wrong.
You wrong.
All right, 3 star says, commonly perceived as one of the funniest films to exist. It's funny in a simplistic way. Sometimes juvenile humor just works. Jokes come thick and fast. Not all work, but most gather a chuckle. It really shows off Gene Wilder's manic side.
We do love when something can gather a chuckle.
Absolutely. I gather my chuckles every night.
I also sometimes love a little chuckle to nosh on.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
5-star review says, my favorite Brooks by a considerable margin and easily one of my favorite movies of all time. Just a masterclass in comedic timing from all the performers. Lines that have no business hitting are still laugh out loud funny the 10th time around. 5 stars.
Just like most of our listeners feel.
Yep. So now we're going to talk about how we feel. Michelle has a rating scale, which is a schmovie movie film. We also rate the movie. We talk about if we'd recommend it. Final thoughts. It's a lot. There's a lot going into this last section, honestly.
Not
and so,
it.
do you want to go first or second? You
You
want me to go
go
first?
first.
Okay. So, I feel like I understand this movie a lot better than I did when I watched it, and even when I rewatched it the first time for this episode. When I initially watched it, I rated it 3.5 stars, which for some people might be like, oh, that's really low. That's not low for me. That means that I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. It is a good movie. This time around, kind of looking at it from the lens of like, this isn't a spoof. This is a sequel. Learning more about the production history, I appreciate it more. And I would say that I enjoyed it a little bit more. But I'm going to rate this as a movie. This is close to being a schmovie. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, Seth. I do know
Yeah.
what you're saying.
And I know that this might sound, I don't want this to sound negative, but I'm kind of where Maniac Mike was. You know what I mean? Not to say that this is a nothing burger. This isn't a nothing burger. I'm staying at 3.5 stars for this movie.
Did you enjoy Blazing Saddles?
Love Blazing Saddles.
Will we do that?
Probably, yeah. Eventually, I mean, if here's what I'll say is, if we ever take the plunge and do westerns month, Blazing Saddles will definitely be in there. So, Michelle, how do you feel?
Oh, I thought from the time I watched it until now, I would have like a concrete answer. And
Yeah,
usually I really have like a gut feeling. And I said to
sure.
Aunt, I was like, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to rate this. Because, like, to me, I feel like I would rewatch it.
Okay.
I would recommend it.
Okay.
And I could find myself watching compilation videos of just Igor.
Sure.
And the fact that he's become, like I said, like one of my favorite movie characters ever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this 4 stars.
Wow. Okay.
Because that's a pretty, like, Marty Feldman, you won me over.
Yes.
As far as movie film schmovie, part of me wants to like, it's like a beautiful love child between a film and a schmovie.
Yeah. 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 I will accept that. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels right to me. I'm more concrete on my system of a film schmovie.
Yeah.
But then in a way it's like, oh my God, it's all 3 when you really think about it with my grading
Yeah.
system.
Definitely. Definitely.
But it is.
Yeah, I think it's just good to have just variety in rating, whether or not to rank movies, rate movies, that's a big topic of discussion, especially on Letterboxd. A lot of people think you shouldn't rate movies 1 through 5. That's ridiculous. Some people say you shouldn't have like the half step. It should just be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. There should be no halves. To me, I like to use it as just a reminder for myself, like it's easier for me to remember how I felt about a movie. It's easier for me to track how I've changed how I feel about a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really find a lot of harm in it. People can be a little too serious, but I think for us, it's good to have like some leeway, and the ratings and what type of thing it is. It's just another, shade of how we feel about the movie. So I think saying a film schmovie
It's a film
love child is
movie.
perfect. Yeah.
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 So you're going on vacation.
I am. Yeah.
So you're missing next week.
I know, but something exciting is coming though for the peeps.
Something exciting is coming. And I don't know how to say this. How do I say this? Something is coming that I think you would actually enjoy. Like, I think you would actually like this movie.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Way to waste one, Seth.
But next week, we are taking a 1 week break from Franktober. And I'm going to be joined by my wife, Jean Marie.
The coolest.
Who, if you haven't heard yet, we just launched a new show on the Movie Friends Patreon called That's Messed Up with Seth and Jean, where we're talking about some pretty great movies. We put out an episode on The Witch from Robert Eggers. We got an episode, I think by the time this one airs, we have an episode on Texas Chainsaw Massacre for Halloween.
Ooh.
Yeah, for October, we're doing that one. So it's great. And she's fun, right? Like she got a good
She's
personality.
the best.
Yeah,
The
she's super
coolest
cool.
person.
Yeah, cool. A lot cooler than I am.
Yeah. No, Jean is like really cool.
That's what you're really upset about is you're going to be missing doing an episode with Jean Marie.
Honestly, maybe you should skedaddle and Jean can just come on.
I'll go to London with Anthony. Just a few blokes, mate. Oi.
Yeah, I'll stay back. I'll record with Jean, and then you and Aunt can go overseas.
Sure.
Mhm.
For next week, we are going to be talking about Hereditary from 2018. It's directed by Ari Aster, 128 minutes, and it's currently streaming on Max.
What made you pick that one?
This is a scary movie. And so when we knew that you were going to be going on vacation, we were like, what should we do? And we were like, well, let's do like a really scary movie because Michelle doesn't like the scary movies. And so, yeah, so that's kind of why. And then this is a Seth and Jean Marie movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Like if this was Inside Out and there was like core movies circling in our relationship, Hereditary would be one of them.
It's kind of romantic.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Cute.
If you want to be romantic and cute, well, actually, hold on. That was not a good segue. Please don't be romantic and cute with us. But I take it back. If you just want to be our friend, okay? Let's cut the crap.
Back to basics.
I don't need a segue. I don't need to beg you. Okay? Just be our friend, dang it.
Seth, if you were a Spice Girl, you would be Segway Spice.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You would be, I was going to say like Funny Spice, but
that
doesn't seem specific enough.
Yeah.
No way. What do you mean, no way?
Oh, well, I think there's just another word out there for me.
Okay. Hey, if you have a word for Michelle, send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can also follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. If you like the show, give us a rating and a review. Subscribe to the show. Remember, until December 1st, it enters you into a drawing for a $50 Visa gift card. You can also support the show. Patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast gets you access to 4 additional shows, 1 every week. If there's 5 weeks in that month, it's still 4. Sorry. But you also get access to the patron-only Discord. You get to support us, and we are your friends, and we love you, and we'll have little nicknames for you in our texts to each other.
Yes, to each other. We talk about you behind your back. No, we also have something pretty interesting and fun coming in January.
Oh, that's right. We do. We've got a live show coming. How did I forget to mention that?
That little thing.
Yeah,
happening.
We're doing a live show, Albany, New York, January 13th, Madison Theater. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some like funny things planned, and I've got some things cooking, and we got a really good response of people who at least said they would show up. So I don't know if they actually will, but I
know. We'll see.
But I was like, wow, okay, all right, maybe people actually, want to be our friends.
And then that made us nervous. And Seth and I were like, wow, I really hope these people don't come. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Pulling back the curtain, guys.
Yeah. And you know what? I said to Michelle, I was like, yes, obviously we're going to do like a little thing, but this is just like, if you listen to us and you live in this area and you want to meet other people, other movie people,
Right.
and you want to hang out and just do like a movie get together, that's what this is. So don't think about
Exactly.
it like, oh, I don't really, do I really like the show that much? Who cares? Just come and meet other people, hang out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. And you will regret it for the rest of your life.
I
if
think
you don't
so.
come. Anyway, thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Seth.
I'm excited that you did this one, and now you can go report to all your friends.
I know. This will be the topic of discussion next
You
time I see
are-
my friends.
You are, despite everything that you say, slowly becoming the movie guy in your friends.
It's true. I know. Because really, I talk about movies a lot now, and my Halloween party is pretty much sponsored by Movie Friends at this point because of the theme. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still denying it, though. Movies suck. TV rules. Bye. No.
What a journey it's been. Anyway, hey, until next week when we're talking about Hereditary, thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Music by Anthony Vicora. If you like the show, please subscribe and give us a rating. It really helps us find new friends. Thanks!